Welcome back to the show, everyone. Of course, I think we all realize that we live in a fairly celebrity-obsessed culture, but it's fascinating to see the way that all this comes together between the paparazzi, the media, the way we all consume it. And our next guest, he knows a lot about it from both sides of the spectrum.
Absolutely. He did a documentary called Teenage Paparazzo, looking at the paparazzi through the eyes of a teenager. Of course, you know Adrian Grenier. How are you?
Hello, hello.
Hi, Adrian.
Welcome
nice
to Vancouver.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How do you usually explain the film to people?
Well, it's about celebrity obsession and tabloid media through the eyes of a 13-year-old boy, a paparazzo.
And amazing, because I think by now some people have seen him around or heard the story of Austin, but it's such an interesting story how you guys first met. What was your first encounter with Austin?
Well, our stars were definitely aligned, pun intended, because after making the film, he became a little bit of a star himself.
Yeah.
But we met one night as I was coming out of a restaurant. He asked to take my picture. I obliged, and instead of taking out a point and shoot or his camera phone, he took out a camera that was twice the size of his head, and he fired away. He blasted away, and started to take off on his scooter. And
You're like,
what just happened?
And you think you've seen it all.
So I ran after him. I grabbed him by the collar. I said, "You're way too interesting to just let go." And a couple months later, I got a camera and I started filming him.
How much did you, I mean, obviously you were on the other side of this sort of situation between paparazzi and celebrities, but how much did you know about all of it, about the business and about the business of celebrity?
Well, you know, I grew up in New York, and it wasn't until I got Entourage that I started going to LA a lot, and we were filming the show, and of course the show is about celebrity, and I was playing a celebrity, and you know, sitting on set, you know, sometimes shooting at Earth Cafe or wherever in Hollywood, you know, the paparazzi would be lurking, and you know, you have a lot of downtime, so you know, I'd sit around and just look at these guys and try and wrap my head around what it was that they were doing exactly, and why they thought it was okay. Like why do they think it's okay to do that to people? So I had a lot of questions. I was very curious about it, and after you know 5 years on the show, you know, just exploring the world of celebrity and what that means, I thought it was time that I really got to the bottom of it and not only figured out what these paparazzi were doing, but also took a good look at my role in the culture, especially our role on the show. Like, what is the show? How did the show affect the whole thing?
And it's worlds colliding, because with Entourage, the nature of that show, and then you've got the paparazzi, but then you have you, and people don't know where those lines are drawn.
Yeah, that's part of the confusion.
And your celebrity, because you were coming into it, do you struggle with being famous still? It seemed like you did at the time of the doc, but is it a difficult thing? It's just such a world people don't know.
The minute you try and make sense of the reflections upon reflections and all the cameras taking pictures of, you know, I mean, we all have cameras and we're all just contributing to creating more images, but the only way I found to really escape it was to go right through it. So we had a lot of fun with the sort of meta aspect of it, blurring the lines. Like, you know, am I Vince or am I Adrian? Does it really matter? And am I a paparazzi? I mean, kind of, especially given the fact that I had cameras and I was shooting Austin and I was filming. So to me, it really came down to communication. That all these tools of communication, these cameras, are a way for us to reflect who we are and reflect it with each other.
You had some fascinating conversations in the documentary with people who study this and why people are so fascinated by different aspects of our society, and especially celebrities. And that to me was, I think, one of the more fascinating aspects of the film is this idea of parasocial relationships and really the meat and potatoes of why this actually happens in the first place.
Yeah, well, I really wanted to strike a nice balance between indulging in the stories of celebrities and getting a, you know, an inside look at what it's like to be in their shoes. And you know, but you know, at the end of the day, you know, they're experts in their experience as celebrities. But I really wanted to have an objective, expert take on the phenomenology of it all.
It's Adrian Grenier from Entourage.
So I would say one of your jobs as a celebrity is to be the subject of gossip.
I don't see a lady there, do you? Oh, good point. Oh, he's doing an interview.
When we gossip about someone, the person we're gossiping about is actually less important than the exchange that takes place between us. We're using that other person, the celebrity, the town whore, whatever, as a vehicle for us to sort of share values with each other, to sort through central issues.
Yeah. Sorry, I know I'm a tool, but I'm sorry. This will get me more ass than Facebook than you have any idea.
The film is full of ironies, you know, all over. Of course, when I really decided to try what they do and take a camera and become a paparazzi, I had a different perspective. And a lot of what I was trying to do is show perspectives. You know, the range of perspectives, not only from the paparazzi, but the celebrity side and you know, the production side on the magazines and the business of it. And I think when you put yourself in from other people's point of views and you gain that perspective, you learn about yourself.
Yeah.
And so I learned a lot about myself, and I've gained appreciation for what they do. I mean, I still don't necessarily love it when they...
Especially when they're hiding in the bushes?
But, you know, I feel empowered because of it.
Yeah.
And really, the film for me is about personal responsibility and empowerment.
Yeah.
And I feel empowered, so they don't hold that above me anymore. They don't hold that over me.
Where's Austin now?
Austin right now is he's probably in bed.
Just waking up. Yeah, that's right.
Checking his cell phone. But he's still a paparazzi?
You know, he says that he's moving into the celebrity photography, which is more of a setup thing, which is, you know, is a transition, I guess, I mean, again, I don't judge what he does.
It's his path.
It's his path. That was our, you know, exchange, and he can take of it what he will.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Well, it was absolutely marvelous. We both really enjoyed watching it, and it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You can find it, just as a happy coincidence, on Shaw Video on Demand as well. If you go onto the site, you can find it, watch it, talk to your kids about it, talk to your family about it. It's
Or go to the website, you can find out where it is playing near you. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.